going to talk torque. You've probably heard of torque wrenches. Here's one 1/2-inch drive, old school, what I call analog. 3/8 drive, adjustable clicks. You're building an engine or something like that, and you have torque specs and you need to adhere to them. That's very, very important. However, there's something that a lot of people overlook, and unless you're an electrician and in the trade, you probably don't even know about this, but something as mundane as a cord cap, the end for an extension cord, those terminals have a torque specification. And when you get into receptacles and switches and circuit breakers, especially on the larger ones, when you get into the really big stuff, everything has a torque specification from the manufacturer. Something that is now written in the National Electric Code is you have to adhere to that specification. So you need to be able to, like this here, needs to be torqued to 36 inch-pounds. I looked this up already on the cord cap, 12 to 14 inch-pounds. Somebody going to check? Maybe. Maybe not. That's what they call the authority having jurisdiction. That would be your electrical inspector. He may take a switch out of the wall, take his torque screwdriver, and check that torque. Yes, it happens, and it depends on the inspector, depends on the engineer. If you're on a big job where you have a lot of precision equipment, electrical equipment, those torque specifications need to be followed. Well, the whole point of this little demonstration here is to demonstrate this torque screwdriver. This was provided to me by Vevor to demonstrate, and I agreed to do it because this is right up my alley here as a retired electrician. I'm very familiar with torque specifications and how important that is on whether or not you end up having a connection fail. So let me get you up close here. I'll show you what all comes in this little kit here. Okay, this comes in a nice little plastic case there. Vevor preset torque screwdriver. It's got a little instruction thing here. Okay, you get a few different assorted bits. I have a straight bit in there right now. And you also get this handle on the end that clips into the end. So if you need to give it a little bit of extra torque. Well, what I get a kick out of in the little manual here, they call this an afterburner. It's not the kind of afterburner I was familiar with, but that's what that's for. There's also a little adapter in here if you need to use a 1/4 inch drive something. And a little snack pack in there to do not eat. Okay, so I have a bit in here, and for example, this here cord cap is supposed to go to 12 inch-pounds. To adjust your torque on this, you pull this little knurled down, and you can back. I'm going to back it all the way to 0. So there I'm at 0. Then you would turn this till 0 aligns again at 10, right there. So there's 10 inch-pounds. To go to 12, you go to 1, and then 2, then release this. So then when you tighten this, okay, well, I'm going to use pliers here to kind of, instead of, so I can get this up close so you can hear it. But as you turn this and it makes its torque, it will click. Get this up closer here. You hear that click. That's when it reaches its torque point. Now, for this circuit breaker right here, that was 36 inch-pounds. So we'll adjust this, turn this till 0 gets up to 30. Right there, so 0's on 30. Take this to 6. We're at 36. So if we had our wire in here to torque this, if we had our wire in here then to torque this, there was a click. So that's the proper way to install these screws in different electrical components. Now, one thing they recommend you do when you're just storing this is to back it off to 0. It helps maintain a little bit better. That way it doesn't put any stress on the springs inside. And these bits just store in their little compartments there, and this drops in. And whether or not you want to keep your instructions in there. And it just clips shut. So there's a demonstration on this Vevor Torque preset torque screwdriver. How to use it. It's very, very simple. Again, I'm going to get some feedback from other electricians or other people say, well, I just tighten it up till it's tight. I did that too for years and years and years and years. And then here recently, actually just before I retired, they came up with torque specifications have to be adhered to, even if it's something as mundane as a switch or a receptacle in your house or in a commercial building or a business or whatever. They started enforcing this in some of the jurisdictions around here, where some inspectors would actually take a device out and take their torque screwdriver and check to see if you met the torque. And if it failed, the whole project fails. So something to keep in mind if you're working in the trade. May need to adhere to that. Depends again on your authority having jurisdiction, and that would be your electrical inspector. On more precision type stuff, high voltage, medium voltage, large breakers, we've always done the torque, and we've always adhered to those torque specifications. And after they're torqued, they're marked. It's just something we always did. So, well, without getting it off subject here and getting into what I used to do. Anyway, here was a demonstration of this Vevor Torque Screwdriver. Yes, again, this was provided to me to test and demonstrate, which I've done. There'll be a link in the description if you'd like to get a hold of one of these. Thanks for watching. I'm Roger in the shop. I'll see you in the next one.